Pause scrolling right now. Seriously, if you are over 60 and you still drive, what I am about to tell you is one of the most important things you may hear this year. Not because it is complicated, but because it is the kind of issue that creeps up quietly and then surprises you with a fee you did not expect, or worse, threatens the independence you depend on. Many older drivers learn about this rule in the hardest possible way. They are sitting in a parking lot after a routine traffic stop, holding a ticket they do not understand, wondering what they missed. Or they open a letter from their insurance company and see a number that makes no sense. Or they walk into the DMV for a simple renewal and walk out with nothing because a requirement they never knew about was not satisfied. That is what I want to prevent for you today. So stay with me. No fluff, no wasted time, just the real information, explained clearly so you know exactly where you stand and exactly what to do. Let's begin with the one thing that changes everything. In the United States, your driving rules are not the same as they were 10 years ago, especially if you are over 65. And they are definitely not the same as the rules for a 35-year-old renewing their license. Most people assume that once you have a license, renewal is only a formality. Show up, pay the fee, get the new card. Easy. But here is what almost nobody tells you. Once you cross a certain age threshold, the state treats your renewal very differently. Different timeline, different tests, different requirements, different consequences if you miss them. And that threshold is not the same in every state. That is the trap. In some states, the changes begin at 65. In others, it is 70. In others, 75. And because there is no national senior driving law, no federal announcement, no standardized policy, people assume what worked last time will work this time. That assumption is costing seniors hundreds of dollars every single year. Here is the specific rule that is catching the most people off guard right now in 2026. Online license renewal, which most of us have used for years because it is convenient and simple, is no longer available to seniors above a certain age in a growing number of states. You read that correctly. The option that saved you a trip to the DMV and let you renew from your kitchen table in 5 minutes has quietly been removed for your age group. And the websites do not always make this obvious. Some of them will even let you start the process, take your payment, show you a confirmation screen, and your renewal can still be flagged as invalid because you were supposed to come in person. That is not a hypothetical. That is happening to real people right now. And when it gets flagged, when an officer runs your license during a routine stop, or when you try to use your license for identification and something comes back wrong, the fine can reach $300. In some states, it can be even more, depending on how long the issue has gone unresolved. Now I want you to really understand why this matters beyond the money. Driving is not just transportation for most seniors. It is freedom. It is dignity. It is the ability to get to your doctor without asking your adult child to take a day off work. It is picking up your own groceries, visiting a friend, going to church, and running your errands on your own schedule. When that gets disrupted, even for a short time, it affects everything. And the cruel irony is that the seniors most affected by these rule changes are often the most responsible drivers on the road. Decades of experience, careful habits, no accidents, and yet they are the ones getting blindsided by a policy change they never heard about. That needs to change. And the way it changes is by you knowing exactly what to look for. So let me walk you through every piece of this step by step in plain English. The first major change to understand is renewal frequency. Standard license renewal in most states is every 4 to 5 years. For drivers under a certain age, that stays the same. But for seniors, multiple states have shortened that window dramatically. Illinois is the best-known example. If you are 75 or older, you must renew every single year. Not every 4 years, every year. And every one of those annual renewals requires an in-person visit and a vision test. Miss one cycle, even by a month, and you are driving on an expired license. But Illinois is not alone. States including New Hampshire, Georgia, and others have tiered systems where the renewal period gets shorter as you get older. A 65-year-old might renew every 4 years, a 70-year-old every 2 years, a 75-year-old every year. And if you moved to a new state recently, or if the law changed since your last renewal, you might be operating under a completely wrong assumption about when you need to go back in. The second major change is the removal of online renewal for older age groups. This is the one catching the most people in 2026. Several states have adopted what they call in-person-only policies for drivers above a certain age because they want to do a face-to-face vision screening or review your current medical status. The problem is that some DMV websites are not clearly updated to reflect this. You start your online renewal, the system processes your payment, and technically your submission goes through. But on the back end, it gets flagged as a non-compliant renewal because your age required an in-person visit. You think you are covered. You are not. And here is something that makes this even more frustrating. You will not necessarily get a notification right away. You might go weeks, even months, before anything surfaces. And then one day something triggers a check, a traffic stop, an insurance audit, a background check, and suddenly you are dealing with a problem you thought you had already handled. Third, and this one surprises people more than anything else, vision requirements have become stricter and more frequent for senior drivers. It used to be that you could pass a vision test once and be set for several years. Now, in many states, drivers over 70 are required to pass a vision test at every renewal, regardless of how recently they had one. And the standard is not flexible. If your vision does not meet the minimum threshold, they will not issue the renewal until it is corrected and checked again. Here is the part where a lot of people slip up. They are still wearing the same glasses they got 3 or 4 years ago. Their prescription has drifted. Their eyes have changed because that is just what happens as we age, and there is no shame in it. But they walk into the DMV vision test with outdated lenses, and they fail a test they absolutely could have passed with a current prescription. One appointment with an eye doctor could have changed everything. That appointment did not happen. The renewal did not go through. Do not let that be you. Let me give you a real picture of what this looks like when it goes wrong. Imagine a woman, 72 years old, a retired school teacher, living alone in a mid-sized city in the South. She has been driving for over 45 years. Her record is spotless. She renewed her license online 2 years ago without any issues. So, when the renewal notice came again this year, she went online, filled out the form, paid the $17 fee, and got a confirmation email. Done, she thought. She even printed the email and kept it in her glove compartment just to be safe. 3 months later, she gets pulled over because one of her brake lights is out. The officer is polite. Routine stop. He runs her license. There is a flag in the system. Her renewal had gone through the online process, but her state, without any major public announcement, had updated its policy earlier that year. Drivers 70 and above must renew in person with a vision test. Her online submission was processed, but marked invalid on the back end. She has a confirmation email. She paid the fee. She did everything she thought was right. She still walks away with a citation and a required court appearance to resolve the invalid renewal. She still has to take time off, arrange a ride, deal with the stress, pay the administrative costs, and her insurance company, once they pull her record, raises her rate. Everything about that situation was avoidable. Every single part of it. So, what do you do? Here is your action plan, and I need you to actually follow through on this. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Step 1. Find your driver's license right now. Pull it out and look at the expiration date. Actually look at it. How many months away is it? If it is within the next 6 months, your renewal process needs to start immediately, especially if your state requires in-person renewal for your age group. Because DMV appointments are not always available quickly. In busy states, wait times for appointments can stretch out 4 to 6 weeks. You do not want to be scrambling in the final weeks before your license expires. Step 2. Go to your state's official DMV website tonight. Search specifically for senior driver renewal policies. Look for pages titled Mature Driver Requirements, Age-Based Renewal Information, or senior license renewal. Find out the exact age at which the rules change in your state, what the renewal period is for your age group, whether online renewal is still permitted for you, and whether a vision test or medical clearance is required. Write this information down somewhere you will keep it. Take a screenshot. Set a calendar reminder. Step 3. If you have not had an eye exam in the last year or two, make that appointment now, before your renewal, not during it. Optometrist appointments are easy to put off, but your vision is the single most commonly cited reason that senior license renewals get delayed. An updated prescription, a small adjustment to your glasses or contacts, and you walk into that vision test with complete confidence. This is not a big ask. It is one appointment that protects years of driving freedom. Step 4. If your state requires a medical clearance letter or a physician statement confirming your fitness to drive, and several states do require this for drivers above certain ages, do not leave this to the last minute. Your doctor's office needs time to prepare documentation. In some practices, it takes 2 to 3 weeks just to get the appointment and then additional time for the paperwork. Start this process a full month or two before your renewal deadline. Give yourself room. Step 5. If you have moved to a new state in the last few years, do not assume your previous state's rules still apply. Go back to Step 2 and look up the new state from scratch. The rules are completely different across state lines, and what was normal procedure in your old state may not exist in your new one. Now, I need to pause and talk about something that is running alongside all of this because it is costing seniors money just as fast as the DMV rules are. Scammers have figured out that senior driving rules are confusing right now. They are taking full advantage of that confusion. Over the past year, reports have surged of seniors receiving phone calls from people claiming to be from the state DMV or the Department of Motor Vehicles, warning them that their license is about to be suspended unless they pay a fee immediately. Sometimes over the phone, sometimes through a gift card, sometimes through a link to what looks like the official DMV website. Some of these scam calls are surprisingly convincing. They have fake caller ID. They know your name. They use official-sounding language. Here is everything you need to know to protect yourself. The real DMV does not call you demanding immediate payment to prevent a suspension. They do not send text messages asking for your social security number. They do not threaten you with same-day consequences if you do not act right now. Any communication that creates urgency, asks for payment by phone, or directs you to click a link to verify your license, that is a scam. Hang up immediately. Do not engage. Go directly to your state's official DMV website, found through a basic internet search, and check your actual license status there. If you receive a suspicious letter in the mail, call the DMV directly using the number on their official website, not the number printed on the letter itself. Pass this information along. Scammers specifically target seniors because they know this age group is already feeling uncertain about these rule changes. Do not let the confusion become an opening for someone to steal from you. Now, let's talk about what 2026 is specifically adding to all of this, because there are new layers this year that are worth understanding. Several states have begun piloting or fully implementing cognitive screening components into senior license renewals for drivers over 70. These are short assessments, usually no more than 10 to 15 minutes, designed to check for significant cognitive impairment that could affect driving safety. They are not designed to be tricky. They are not trying to fail you. But if you walk into your DMV appointment not knowing this test is coming, it can feel disorienting and stressful, and stress itself can affect your performance. The best thing you can do is know about it in advance. If your state has implemented this requirement, talk to your doctor about what the screening involves. Understand what to expect. Walk in calm and prepared rather than surprised and anxious. Information is the difference between feeling ambushed and feeling confident. Also, in 2026, Real ID compliance is now fully enforced across the country. If your current driver's license is not Real ID compliant, you will know because a compliant license has a gold or black star in the upper right corner. It cannot be used for domestic air travel or entry into federal government buildings. If your renewal is coming up anyway, this is the perfect moment to make sure your new license meets the Real ID standard. Bring a document proving your identity. something showing your social security number, and 2 documents proving your current address. Ask the DMV clerk explicitly to issue you a real ID-compliant license. One extra step, and it is done. There is one more thing I want to say before we wrap up, and it is the most important thing. Some people watching this may be at a point where driving has genuinely become more difficult. Vision has changed significantly. Reaction time is not what it was. Night driving has become stressful, and there is fear, real, understandable fear, that acknowledging any of that means losing the license entirely. I want to say this as clearly and as kindly as I can. Talking to your doctor about driving is not the same as giving up your license. In many cases, vision issues can be fully corrected. Medical conditions can be managed. In many states, restricted licenses, daylight-only driving, limited radius, and no highway driving allow seniors to maintain meaningful independence while acknowledging specific limitations. These are real options that preserve real freedom. But none of them are available to you if you avoid the conversation. The seniors who end up losing their licenses completely are often the ones who avoided the topic until it became a crisis. The seniors who keep driving safely into their 80s are the ones who stayed proactive, stayed informed, and worked with their doctors and the DMV rather than around them. You have earned your independence. You have earned the right to drive on your own terms. Protect that by staying ahead of the rules, not by hoping the rules do not catch up with you. Here is what you are going to do right now. Find your license. Check the expiration date. Look up your state's senior renewal requirements tonight. Book that eye doctor appointment if you are overdue. And if you have a parent, a neighbor, a friend, or a family member over 60 who still drives, share this with them, because I can almost guarantee they have not heard any of this. And the $300 fine, the suspended license, the insurance rate hike. None of that has to happen to anyone who knows what to look for. Stay informed. Stay ahead of it. Stay on the road. Check your license before it costs you $300. Do it today.